The best travel itinerary for Venice. Venice is often called the city of love, and its romantic atmosphere is a major draw for couples and honeymooners. The city's picturesque canals, historic architecture, and scenic vistas provide a beautiful backdrop for a romantic getaway. Venice is built on a group of 118 islands, and these small islands are linked with 400 bridges. These islands are located in the Venetian lagoon, which sits just off of the mainland of Italy. With its Venetian Gothic architecture, Renaissance and Baroque buildings, wide piazzas, and narrow canals, Venice is often described as one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Venice is made up of neighborhoods also called sestieri. Some sestieri contain Venice's most popular sites, while others are quieter, where the locals live. If you are planning your first trip to Venice, this Venice itinerary is perfect for you. With 2 days in Venice, you have just enough time to visit the highlights of this beautiful city and stroll the canals. Tour Doge's Palace, visit St. Mark's Basilica, drift through the canals on a gondola, and explore the quieter corners of Venice. Day 1. St. Mark's Square, also called Piazza San Marco, is the main public square in Venice. St. Mark's Basilica and the Campanile sit at the eastern end of the square. The remainder of the square is lined with arcades, which were once the homes and offices of the officers during the days of the Republic of Venice. Now the arcades are home to shops and restaurants. One of the most interesting sights on St. Mark's Square is the Torre dell'Orologio, the clock tower. This clock and its tower dates back to the 15th century. St. Mark's Basilica is even older, and it dates back to the 9th century AD. Over the course of 8 centuries, mosaics were added to the interior of the cathedral, as well as treasures from the Crusades. The Polidoro is a Byzantine altarpiece that is covered in gold and studded with almost 2,000 gems. Visiting St. Mark's Basilica. This cathedral is one of Venice's top attractions. On a visit to St. Mark's Cathedral, you will pay a few euros to enter the basilica. Then, go to the Doge's Palace. The Doge's Palace is a palace built in Venetian Gothic styles. For centuries, this building served as the residence for the Doge, the seat of the government, and a palace of justice. Now it is a museum. Before leaving the area, visit the Campanile for an unforgettable view of Venice. An elevator whisks visitors to the top of the Campanile, so climbing stairs is not necessary. To avoid waiting in line, book your tickets online on the official website in advance. For the rest of the day, you are free to explore the canals of Venice. Strolling the canals is one of the best things to do in Venice, and there are several ways to do it. You can either wander the canals on your own or take a walking tour. We recommend staying east of the Grand Canal and exploring the San Marco, Castello, and Cannaregio. We recommend starting on Riva degli Schiavoni, which is a wide promenade that runs along the Venetian lagoon. As you cross Ponte della Paglia, look down the canal for the iconic view of the Bridge of Sighs. As you continue east on the promenade, you will pass Hotel Danieli, and to your right will be gorgeous views across the canal. Once you get past Hotel Danieli, you can head north and stroll the canals in Castello. Day 2. The Peggy Guggenheim Collection and Teatro La Fenice are 2 of Venice's most popular attractions. Basilica di Santa Maria della Salute is a church on the Grand Canal, and you can climb the steps to the cupola for one of the best views of Venice. Peggy Guggenheim Collection. This modern art museum is located in the Palazzo Venier dei Leoni, an 18th century palace. It contains modern art by Picasso, Dali, Miro, and Kandinsky that was collected by American heiress Peggy Guggenheim. Teatro La Fenice. This opera house is one of the most famous and historic opera houses in the world. The theater was destroyed by a fire 3 times, the most recent being in 1996. It reopened in December 2003, truly earning its name The Phoenix, as it continually rises from the ashes. Basilica di Santa Maria della Salute. The Basilica di Santa Maria della Salute is located on the Grand Canal. From Ponte dell'Accademia, this Baroque cathedral is one of the main focal points. From Ponte dell'Accademia, you have one of the best views of the Grand Canal. This old wooden bridge is not one of prettier bridges in town, but the view from here is stunning. Look east along the Grand Canal. You will be able to see the Basilica di Santa Maria della Salute, a 400-year-old church that is a famous Venetian landmark. This bridge also a great spot to watch as gondolas, water buses, and taxis drift up and down the Grand Canal. The Vaporetto is a water bus that runs up and down the Grand Canal and also out to Lido, Murano, and Burano. This is the cheapest way to cruise up the Grand Canal. The Rialto Bridge. 4 bridges span the Grand Canal, and this one is the oldest. It was originally built in 1173 and has been rebuilt several times. The present bridge was completed in 1591. The Rialto Bridge is a covered footbridge that is lined with shops. Visiting this bridge is one of the best things to do in Venice. While you're in the area, this is a good time to visit the T. Fondico rooftop terrace. The terrace is free to visit and you have a great view overlooking the Grand Canal. Now you know all the best places in Venice worth visiting. Enjoy your time in Venice.
Thanks for watching.